They don't do it like this anymore, do they? Wow, she's got the whole world in her hands. Wow, whoa, look at that transition. That was so cool. Man, look at this. Look at how this looks. This is amazing. Yep, it's Dragon Ball, of course. Oh, I love this a lot. This is so cool. There's a dog! Hell yeah. It's been too long. Oh, what a good boy. Or girl. Judging by the last 5 minutes, you know, like 1% of Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I think that's very fair to say. This is Beyond the Time artist, right? Get chance and luck. It makes no sense, but I love it. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are checking out more mystery endings. Today we're going back to the retro sets that we were checking out a while ago with openings. And from what I understand, this is going to be, if not all, then mostly endings that are attached to series that we have already seen openings for. So I'm very excited for this one because there were some incredible openings within the retro videos. Some of the retro videos are easily my favorites because I was introduced to so many series that I had never heard of. I was introduced to the openings for series that I've only heard the names of and knew little about, like, for example, a huge series that everyone knows, Dragon Ball. I had never seen a Dragon Ball opening before, and that was very fun to check out. So that's just one small example of just how fun these retro recordings are. I don't know what we're going to be seeing today. I don't know which decade this falls into, 70s, 80s, 90s, anything like that. I don't know if there's a theme, but I am very excited because retro's always a blast, isn't it? Like, we're all having a fun time here with retro, and yeah, I'm going to stop my yapping. I'm just going to jump right into this one. If you guys do enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe if you have not done so already, and comment down below letting me know your favorite that was in this set within this list of endings. And yeah, let's just dive right into this. Here we go. My hope is that we get to see some City Hunter in here today. I really love that City Hunter aesthetic. It was City Hunter, right? Or what was it called? Am I getting the name wrong? All right, let's see what ending number 1 has in store for us. Here we go. Oh shit. We are probably straight back into the 80s. Is this playing over the episode? Is this why it's black screen for now? Wow. Is this supposed to be all black screen? I'm so confused. There it is. Man, look at how good that looks. It's so good. Look at that aesthetic. They don't do it like this anymore, do they? You don't understand what a real man is? This is City Hunter, right? I think that's the name of the series. I'm probably wrong. Oh, this is so like Vice City core. I love it. I just love this style so much. Like, that was such a great way to start this. Like, there's just something about the muted color, but also the color pops. Like, how did they do that? How did they manage to both mute and pop color at the same time? Like, it looks like it's been drained of color, but it still stands out. Like, it's just such an amazing, incredible look. And I know that we are so far gone from this era, but man, do I wish I was like watching series these days. Like, I know I could always go back and watch these older series, but do I wish there were like some series that I know these days that I'm watching that just had this kind of look to it. Like, there's just something about this that just appeals to me so much, and I can't explain it. I don't know if it's a nostalgia factor or anything like that. This is the first ending for City Hunter 2. Okay, I'm glad I got the name right. I was like, all I can think of is City Hunter, but I could be like City anything. Supergirl by Yasuyuki, Okamura, Space Dandy opening. Really? That's really fun. I love that. It feels like, not exactly, but there's some sort of crossover potential between Space Dandy and this kind of series, where Space Dandy does have a very certain aesthetic. Like I don't know, like I haven't seen the series, but from what I've seen of Space Dandy, it almost looks like they took the 60s but did it in space, if that makes sense. And this is obviously the 80s, it's not the 60s, but you know, it has almost like a similar retro feel to it from Space Dandy. This is an amazing, amazing ending. Like, this realistically could have been an opening and I wouldn't have blinked twice. Like, this really just has that same feel as one of the openings that we would have checked out. I know that City Hunter in particular, I remember the openings being quite flashy and very, like, the transitions and composition of shots and everything was phenomenal within the City Hunter openings. And this one did take a much more laid back approach, but even then they didn't go the easy route. They still, you know, we're hand animating every single frame of this with, you know, cards twirling and the record spinning and everything like that. Like, they put work into this and you can see that, and it really shows. I do have a lot of respect for the animators for this ending, but I just do think that this could have been any other series an opening besides maybe this series in particular, because those openings were so out there and so amazing. I do honestly think a lot about the openings for City Hunter a lot. Like, they're some of my favorites that surprised me while I was watching openings that I'd never heard of before. Pinecino, you could probably obviously jump in and tell me if I'm right or wrong here, but the first 35 seconds of this being just the black screen, I was a little worried that maybe there was an issue with the video. I'm guessing that this is the sort of ending that bleeds into the episode and stuff. Anytime that ever happens, it's intentional. Gotcha. Because this one was longer than any other, like there have been some others, obviously, like the most recent set that we did, it was maybe 10-15 seconds, but this was 35. This was a third of the ending, more than a third. So I genuinely did have a little bit of panic that that there was something wrong here if the episode led into the ending. I love that so much. It's one of my favorite things with series. You know, like, some of my favorite endings of all time, like, are simply some of my favorites because of the fact that they did have that bleed in moment. It really just adds a lot. Like, who doesn't love a good JoJo ending, right? And obviously the JoJo endings are iconic for the most part because they're songs that you and I might already know, and they're being used in this series that does use a lot of references to like music and stuff. So but we're not talking about JoJo. But, you know, if I did want to talk JoJo, obviously the stature of the main character here in this series, the man, it is very much that older, like, big buff upper body kind of look. I do like that he is, you know, kind of put in really big clothing and, you know, very fashionable looking clothing within City Hunter, because it kind of takes away from that really buff look. But obviously product of its time and everything, it's something to be expected within the 80s openings, endings, and everything like that. As Pinecino has said here, the Sons of Kenshiro, where would we be without that look, right? That's gone on to inspire so many other series that we all know and love. Finding out it was the Space Dandy artist was amusing to you because you found that apparently this was their first anime song and their second was indeed Space Dandy 25 years later. Really? They've only done two, or at least they had only done two up until Space Dandy, and this was their first. That's a really, really cool piece of trivia because this was amazing. Like, I really did love this ending so much. I loved the song. It was so groovy. It had so much soul, so much energy, and just so much to just vibe with. And yeah, it did obviously have my mind is melting right now. Is it city pop? I know that the 80s openings in particular were chock full of it, and okay, it is city pop, good. And this is obviously city pop yet again. Like, I should honestly just make a playlist of city pop music because it just really helps to like mellow the soul, and it's just really nice and fun to vibe with, because, you know, while I'm editing videos, like this, not to make this about me or anything, I'm here to talk about the endings obviously, but while I'm editing videos I do tend to put on music, and lately I've been putting on a lot of Studio Ghibli stuff, in particular Nausicaa, Castle in the Sky, because the music within those OSTs in particular are really just nice. There's not really a whole lot of, you know, exciting big brash music within those OSTs. Like if I was to check out Princess Mononoke's OST, like it does have some more intense music in there, so I kind of need more music that just really, yeah, that beat exactly, Joe Hisaishi, he just really does make incredible music, and I just need more music like that just helps to like kind of keep me focused and mellowed and everything. And I think that honestly, like city pop, it's, even though like it's got lyrics and, you know, it's very energetic, I do think it kind of like gives me a similar feel. Like it really just helps bring me down and keep me like level-headed, opposed to listening to, you know, like I was playing it before the stream started, I was listening to Hunting for Your Dream from, of course, Hunter x Hunter. I think that is the complete opposite of the music that I need to listen to while I'm editing. Back to the ending, of course, this is a very, very long ending discussion, but yeah, the animation within this is absolutely phenomenal here. Like the lighting off of this record and everything, the fact that you can literally see the record spinning, I don't know, it's just so endearing almost. I don't know another word that kind of describes this as well as endearing. The fact that this is how it is, like I don't know, it's so beautiful, it's so well put together. Like even shots like this, like it's very much giving me Florida, Vice City kind of vibes during the 80s. Like that's just exactly how this looks, and it's doing an incredible job of presenting this fictional world. Then we get shots like this. Like how often do we get to see shots like these in series where you can see the light reflecting through like shadows and stuff on characters and everything like that, and if you follow the light sources and everything and the lines, it's perfect. Like it just looks incredible. It's going to show the mastery of these folks that were behind these series. Like these people are some of the most talented animators out there, and yes, like I know that this is just an ending, you could say, but this is more than just an ending. This is a work of art. I love that on one hand we got a shot earlier where it's showing whiskey. I was wondering if this was whiskey, but I do hear that it says whiskey. The whiskey and the cigarette here kind of presenting this adult look and everything like that. I don't know if I would say it's presenting like this questionable kind of look, because I imagine this was just very normal during then, but like you don't really see anything like that these days where it's kind of just straight up showing a shot of cigarettes and whiskey and everything like that, unless you're watching a more adult series. And I know that this was positioned towards a shonen audience, teenage audience, I guess you could say, so it's kind of surprising seeing stuff like this. Not that it's something I'm against or anything, it just it is a little surprising seeing a focus on shots like these, but I imagine that it's kind of reminiscent of the content of the series and, you know, the way that they are and everything. Like our main character, I could definitely see him just sitting back and, you know, throwing down a glass of whiskey, whereas then when I guess it's focusing on the girl, there's lipstick, it's showing her in her different looks and everything. She's got the hearts, you know, like that's her, what's it called in a deck of cards, you know, you've got the hearts, diamonds, clubs and spades, like what are those called? She had hearts, so she's obviously someone who either longs for love, is in love, or is related in some way to love. There's love surrounding her, that's why there's the heart probably. And then of course we do get to see our main character here looking cool as ever. He's just so cool, like he's got this really cool look to him. And I think it's really interesting as well, within this ending, it's almost like the complete opposite of the openings, where, like I've already said already, the openings were very flashy, very in your face, had these really bright, vibrant colors. This ending kind of dulls all of that out and doesn't really have as much vibrancy to it, but I think that that's probably on purpose because they're trying to show a more human side, a more human heart focused side, where it's focusing on the main characters and stuff and maybe what they're experiencing and going through. This shot as well, like it just looks so cool with the door on one side and the head on the other. It's almost like she's trying to, like, it is the girl that comes through, right? She's trying to open the door to see into his head or something. Like she wants to know more about him, and she's trying to get through to him. Like that's honestly what this makes me think of anyway. Could be so far off, but also looks like he has some sadness on his face when he's looking around at her. I wonder if there's more to their relationship than maybe I'm able to pick out, but it does look like he's looking at her quite sadly. Like there is some longing or some sadness in his heart, and she's trying to break through to him almost, rather than the other way about. In the openings, I think I recall that it looked like him that was trying to get through to her a lot of times. But yeah, then like, you know, there are a lot of solitary shots. This is maybe the only shot in the entire ending where we see both characters potentially in the same room together. The shot with the head and the doorway, I think he is outside because it does look like there's, you know, bars, like a door, or there's a wall and then like bars on the other side of his face. So I don't think they're in the same room together. I think it's kind of like symbolic that he turns around and looks at her and stuff like that. But I think that the only shot where we see more than one character in the same room together in the same shot is this shot right here. And it does look like they're underwater, so almost like they're drowning in whatever these problems are. Very, very interesting. I love the way that this was composed and everything. I love the song so much. It was so fun. It was incredible. The animation and the art style and the look, the character designs, everything is top notch here. City Hunter is still a series I would love one day to eventually check out. I really just think that this is very, very special and very endearing. But yeah, I think I'm ready now to check out the next ending, ending number 2. We'll just move on to that next one. Here we go. All right, let's see what we get in ending number 2. Here we go. Good luck. Oh, okay. I love this textured look. Not Maison. Urusei Yatsura. It's good to be back. We're going all the way back. I love this textured look. Like, I remember this series had a lot of this. And Ranma had that too. He's just showing up to pull his little faces. Wow, she's got the whole world in her hands. Wow, look at the flower blooming. She looks so, like, fun. Like, she just looks like a really fun character. Her facial expressions and everything are just, like, everything. She just looks so goofy. Oh, and there we are. We finish on planet Earth. Hell yeah. Love a good city pop track. I love that, you know, the entire ending, it's Lum kind of, you know, dancing around, playing with this orb that is tiny compared to her. Like, she's able to do whatever she wants with it. She can create flowers and stuff. She can bend it to her will, make it anything appear that she wants. It's almost like she's this kind of like fortune teller type thing. Like, I know that that's not the case, but I just think it's really cool seeing her like she's in control here. And we see obviously the guy, main character, him like pop into view with like sweat dripping down his face, and this looks like very much what I remember from the openings and stuff as well, where he was being dragged along by her and she was the one in control, and he was literally just doing whatever she wanted. And I'm surprised that they didn't start dancing in this ending, but like, she has this whole world in her hands, and that's why then it's more impressive when it actually transitions right to planet Earth here. Like, it's a really great transition where, you know, the circle, the orb is the exact same size and everything. This is how it ends, with kind of this idea and message that whatever it was that we were seeing her toy with, it was this. It was Earth all along, right? And that kind of plays back to the whole point that she is an invader and everything like that. Also, the fact that the guy main character showed up within that orb as well might indicate that he is her whole world. He sometimes takes up the entirety of that planet Earth, I guess you could say. He is under the whim of Lum here. He literally can't control what he does around her or anything like that. Like, she's in control. This is the 9th ending for Urusei Yatsura. Good Luck by Shoko Minami. So this would be Studio Dean. This was an absolutely like just fun vibe of an ending. Like, I just, there's something about Lum. I don't know. She just looks like such a fun character. I'm sure that she brings so much mischief, and there's probably a lot more to her character, or maybe there isn't. Maybe what we see in these openings and endings is exactly what we get when it comes to her, but she is just a really positive looking person all the time. I can't recall, there might have been one opening, but I feel like in every single time I've seen her, she has had a smile. She's been full of positive energy, and she's been, you know, pushing fun energy the entire time. So it's just fun and nice to see that continue into endings, perhaps. Like, I'm sure that there's maybe like endings or openings where she isn't exactly having such a fun time and maybe she's going through some stuff. But at least within this ending, we get to really just see that fun side again. The look of this as well, I love this kind of textured look. I apologize. These fools have to cut their grass every other day, apparently, where I live. Like, I don't understand why they think their grass grows that fast. It's actually insane just how often they cut grass. But I'm going to just continue because you know, I have to. But anyway, like I was saying, I love this textured look within the orb here. It's almost like someone put down paper and they put the pencil on the side and they're kind of doing like a over the top of something else. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's almost like it's got this textured rub over look, like, you know, in movies and TV shows when someone sees a post-it note next to a telephone or something, and so they go over and they're a master detective and they're able to scratch over what was written on the post-it note and figure out what was said or what was written down or whatever. Like, it's kind of giving me that kind of feeling here, seeing this kind of look. And of course, she's just so well drawn and everything. Like, there's so much life and character to her. Like, it's just so hard to describe just how she appears and stuff, because she's in control, she's fun, she's bubbly, she's got a lot of personality. The way she pops around this and everything with her big eyes and everything, it's just pure fun. Like, she's just a really entertaining looking character. I imagine that when you're watching Urusei Yatsura, be it the older series or the series from like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever it was, I imagine that Lum here is by far and away the most entertaining part and the big draw, and the reason people come back to this series. She has it all. If you were like a teenage boy during this time, like, she's got that kind of appeal, you know, to you. For anyone else, she looks to be fun and entertaining, and just like she gets up to no good and stuff in every opening ending that I've seen anyway. She really just does string along the main character, and I think that that's really fun because she's just a bubbly personality. There's a lot of fun characters. I imagine so. In a Takahashi series, of course, we did see a lot of really fun looking characters within Ranma in particular. I'm not so sure I would say we saw a lot of fun characters in Maison Ikkoku, because that did look like a lot more of a story and adult driven series opposed to Ranma and Urusei Yatsura. It is just a really fun looking series, really fun looking characters, and I just think that it's really cool that this ending in particular, for the most part, was just focused on Lum. Nobody else, besides, you know, the fact that our guy character shows up a couple of times to gulp and have sweat dripping down his face. Because, yeah, she is, to me, the star of the show, and I think that it's only fitting that she is the entire ending here. And even shots like these, the way the shadows come in and she fades out and everything, like, it just looks so good. Everything about this ending is absolutely beautiful, incredible, And yeah, I have a lot of love and respect for this. And of course, the song as well was a lot more downbeat than the previous one that we saw in City Hunter, but still had that city pop feel to it, city pop sound, and it was really fun. And I loved the female singer's voice and everything. It really just rang home the vibes of this ending a lot, and it was a lot of fun to check out. But yeah, I might be ready to move on to number 3 already. A lot of it was indeed in English too, absolutely. And yeah, I think that it's really interesting that in a lot of the older openings, endings and stuff, there is a lot of English. You know, we do see that a lot as well nowadays, but I feel like there was maybe a period in the 2000s, well, that might be wrong, but a lot of the bigger series, if you want to name big 3, for example, Naruto, One Piece and Bleach, of course, there's not a whole lot of English speaking within those. There is another Urusei Yatsura ending you considered that's entirely in English. Really? What about We Are? Absolutely. We Are on the Cruise. Those are the only English words in that entire song, are they not? Unless you're going for kids, you know, you can get the true English One Piece opening right there, the rap. As someone who speaks English, I of course appreciate when the artists and when the series do bring out English, spoken English sang songs and lyrics and stuff, because it's easier for me to hear, it's easier for me to understand what's going on without having to read the subtitles, because while I'm checking these out, I am trying to focus on the visuals more than the subtitles. But at the same time, I'm not someone who thinks that every ending should be in English or anything like that. That's not what I'm trying to say here. I just think that it is easier to kind of follow along with what I'm supposed to be understanding within these, because otherwise, you know, it's not really until I'm editing the videos, until I'm reading lyrics and stuff a lot of the times, unless there are periods during the ending or the opening where I have the chance to read the lyrics and everything like that. But always appreciate the Pinecino puts the effort into including lyrics and everything like that, and I hope that you guys do as well. But yeah, I think we're ready now to move on to ending number 3. So let's see what we get in this next one. Here we go. All right, let's see what we get in ending number 3 here. Let's go. I wonder if we're going to continue with Takahashi for maybe a little bit here. Okay. I don't know if I recognize this one. Unless it's... I really love that textured look in the background. Is this Maison Ikkoku, actually? Beautiful. Oh. Just like the simple movements and everything, like, look at that. Wow. Whoa, look at that transition. That was so cool. Oh, she's so cute. I'm pretty sure this is Maison Ikkoku. I love the feeling of this, and this is... Wow. Is there going to be a transition again at the end? Aww. That was beautiful, and it reminds me of one of the endings, I think, for Maison Ikkoku. Wasn't there like one of the endings that kind of did have like a coloring style? Would remind me of this. But yeah, this was absolutely incredible. Like starting off like this, where she's coming into view here, and you know, it's the way I'm seeing this here. I don't know if this is metaphoric of the fact that she is kind of coming into view here, where she's almost like made an opening in the background where she's kind of like created space for herself to come through or something like that. And when she does come through, she's still shrouded in darkness, and you know, it's kind of not entirely clear that it's her or anything. But when you see her face, and it's almost telling you this idea that it's not even about her appearance. Almost it's her. She is a great person or a great character or something like that. I'm probably reaching. Just the fact that she's so shrouded in darkness, and you know, it's only her head that's popping into view. It's kind of making me think that, yeah, there's more to her than just her looks. There's more to her than just, you know, how she looks and everything like that. This is the first ending for Maison Ikkoku, Will Tomorrow Be Brighter by Takao. Kisugi. Another, might I say as well, kind of more downbeat track, similar to the previous one for Urusei Yatsura that we checked out. Also, let me just draw a comparison to the previous set that we checked out. I thought it was so funny that in the previous set, endings that we checked out for the 2000s, you know, the first 3 or 4 were very almost doom and gloom. It's where everything was really like just down there. Whereas this one, you know, it's got some of that as well. Like this set, we're on the 3rd one at this point, but you can kind of also feel that sense of hope and longing within these, the long drawn notes and everything, and the smooth sound of everything. It kind of gives you that sense that they are in this position where they're longing for more. They're trying to move on to bigger, greater things or something like that. Considering this is the first ending, I imagine there's not really, like, I know there are several, I think, was it 6 endings for Maison Ikkoku? So this is the first of 6, I think. Sorry, openings. I don't know if I said endings. If this is the first ending really attached to this first opening, you know what I'm trying to say. I imagine that the whole romance thing hasn't been as fleshed out maybe as we'll see down the line. So I think it's a good idea to kind of just focus on introducing the characters in this ending opposed to showing the romance side of things, and kind of focusing on showing how the 2 main characters, like the will they won't they kind of thing, plays out. I am a little disappointed that we didn't get the blind dog in this ending. The blind dog was a treat and a highlight of every single opening that we checked out. I love that dog so much, especially when the dog started to push the 2 characters together. I think that was really hilariously done. We also then see that there's this thing right here, which I guess is the lamp, because it's got a similar look, but then it transitions into our main character here, the girl standing in front of a mirror. I'm not sure how to interpret that exactly. I guess, you know, you could make the correlation between it's not what you see reflected in yourself or something, or like it's not about what others see because of the mirror. Like, it's the fact that she's standing in front of the reflection. It's almost like you know, you need to see the real her, or you need to see her for what she is opposed to the image that is projected. That sounds like probably my biggest stretch in a long time. I'm just trying to kind of figure out what the symbolism here is of these shots and everything like that. But she is so adorable. I really just love her vibe, and I love the way she holds herself. I love the fact that, you know, seems very confident in herself, even here in shots like this where we do see her smiling. I don't know, there is just also this sense of like, what's she looking towards? And I just feel like sad for her, and maybe that's coming from a place that I know that she is widowed, I believe. So maybe I'm just kind of seeing sadness in her character where maybe there isn't, and I'm also relating this to the fact that this is the first ending. So I'm sure that the first few episodes anyway, especially when you see this ending in particular, there's probably a lot of sadness to her character, and she's still going through the motions, and she's still maybe experiencing that grief. A big part of the series is that she's a recent widow. Yeah, then when we see the main guy appear in the same way she did, he comes a lot more into view. Like, he's not as mysterious, he's not kind of popping in, he's kind of bringing his whole self out there. I wonder if that's kind of something you could compare between the 2 characters, where, you know, the way that they brought themselves out there or something like that. But this shot right here, this is easily the best shot of the entire ending, when she has her hand curled, and like, it's a very delicate looking hand, right? It's a very just small looking hand, and there's something as well, like this is gonna sound crazy, but it's something I pointed out as well on Discord to Pinecino and stuff. Something I just love in anime series is like, this isn't what this is, but like, it's something I see as well, and not to sound like Yoshikage Kira here or anything like that, but I love when you can see full drawn fingernails in anime, because a lot of the times they just draw a little line or something. Something that I notice for some reason, and I really appreciate when they put in that effort to go that step further to actually draw full fingernails. I think that it kind of like, it always stands out to me. I don't know why. And similar to that as well, like when you can see the detail and attention put into like hands and stuff, and like the motion here in her pulling her hand up, like It's so well animated, so well drawn and everything like that, and just the positioning and everything like that. Like it's amazing. Like there's no other word. Like I just really really love and appreciate it so much, and the fact that she pulled the heart out from her palm and everything like that, it's, you could kind of play it two ways, where she's got someone's heart in the palm of her hand, but she doesn't strike me as that character. She strikes me more as the type that is kind of scared and worried to jump back into that sort of thing, and so she doesn't really hold someone's heart in her hand. She kind of more so maybe is holding her own heart back, which is the other thing that I would maybe think that this could symbolize, where she herself is responsible for her own love, and she's kind of keeping that close, keeping it in her palm, but she's still showing it. She's still showing that she's full of love and full of all of these beautiful positive things, and I think that that's maybe why she shows it off here. But then of course we do get this absolutely bonkers transition right here, where her hand transitions into a city skyline with the heart still above, kind of reminiscent of like the sun or something like that. And it's surprising to me because I thought that in the openings for Maison Ikkoku, the series looked like it took place in a very small town or something. Like it didn't look like it was taking place in this big city or anything like that. I wonder if maybe she came from a big city and went to the smaller town because of the passing of her late husband or something like that. And so this is kind of showing that her heart was left behind in this city when her husband died, if that is the case. Because it's really surprising, because I remember everything looking very small and everything. Oh well, Tokyo has its suburbs. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I guess I honestly thought it looked like Maison Ikkoku took place on like a seaside town or something like that. Like picture Ponyo. It reminded me of that. It's pretty damn big, yeah. Maybe the fact that we saw an opening where we saw them go to the beach or something like that also plays into that. And the fact that for the most part things always looked sunny, apart from when things were snowing and stuff like that. I guess that maybe that's bullshit then. And then we get to see her smiling again, full of energy, full of life, and flicking her hair around. And I love that this, I said it during the openings as well, and I love that this is very different from any other Takahashi female lead that I can think of. Ranma, I'm not really familiar with the female lead unless you consider Ranma the character themselves, female lead. But she is so normal looking, I guess. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. She obviously very much stands out, and she's very cute, and she's very adorable and everything like that, but she just seems so normal as a person, which I love, because that's not something Takahashi normally does, I don't think. Granted, I'm speaking as someone who doesn't have a damn clue. And then we transition into this lamp right here, which has similar flares and like look to it that the very beginning had when it showed her standing in front of the mirror, like right there, like the little swirls and everything. Like it kind of reminds me of this lamp that we see at the end, but she reaches up, turns it off, and that's when we see the lamp against this beautiful background that's very clearly been drawn, and it's kind of like very dreamlike and everything like that. Very Wonder-esque, I would say. The shift from shonen to seinen is very much what allowed for a less bombastic design for Takahashi. Yeah, I love that so much. Is this the only seinen series that she has done? The only other series I know of that Takahashi has done outside of the three that we've seen is Inuyasha, and I'm not familiar whether it's shonen or seinen, but I'd imagine it's shonen from what I've seen and what I know about the series. I would love to see Takahashi return to this kind of style and this kind of series at some point. Again, coming from someone who doesn't have a damn clue, maybe she's already done that plenty. Maybe she's currently doing that, who knows. But this was an absolute beautiful ending, and one that really just stacks up there once again with the Maison Ikkoku openings, which were all incredible as well. You don't know about seinen, but you think her only other seinen series are more short stories. Okay. I think I may be ready to move on to the next one. Like I said, the song was really nice and downbeat and chilled here, and the visuals as well were so incredibly well done here. I just love the look of the 80s. Like, there's just something about it that just really stands out to me, and I just absolutely adore, and I'm glad that we're able to check a lot of these out today. But yeah, let's move on and see what we get in ending number 4. So now that we've done Urusei Yatsura and Maison Ikkoku, surely the next stop on this Takahashi train will be Ranma, right? In number 4. Alright, so if we're ready, let's check out ending number 4 here and see what we get in this one. Let's go. Is this Dragon Ball? This is definitely right? Love and mystery. A mystery. Man, look at this. Look at how this looks. This is amazing. Yep, it's Dragon Ball, of course. This looks so good, though. Like those single close-up shots with all the color and everything. Oh shit, it's the house Pinecino made in Minecraft once. It just looks so fun. Dinosaurs. This is not the kind of ending I would have expected for Dragon Ball at all. Oh shit, the Dragon Ball's in the Sonic bonus stage. This was very interesting to me for several reasons, and I'm going to explain why in just a second. This actually took what I thought I knew about Dragon Ball and spun it on its head. This was very, very different from what I expected. There's very clearly a huge scientific kind of aspect to it. I wonder if maybe that's just early Dragon Ball. But, you know, like there's technology and stuff like very present, you know, this wave machine and everything. There's a lot of focus on like helicopters and like all these machines and stuff. Like it kind of gives me the sense that there's a technological like focus that pushes the early story along. Toriyama adored drawing vehicles and robots. Yeah, I can very clearly see that. It's still surprising to me because I honestly thought that Dragon Ball was a lot more just like, I don't know the right word, but like primitive in a sense, where it's more just about like people in their homes and stuff opposed to like all these advances, I guess. Like, yeah, it was just very surprising to me. These new fans don't recognize Bulma. What happened to my community? Funny enough, I did have in my head as soon as I saw her, I was like, isn't this Bulma from Dragon Ball? But I kept it to myself until I saw Goku like right here. And I guess I never said Bulma after that. But I was kind of in my head, I was like, ooh, once I saw these waves, I was like, oh wait, maybe this is like the other series that he did before Dragon Ball. What was it called? Like Dr. Slump or something? Because I was like, I haven't seen anything explicitly Dragon Ball yet, so I'm not entirely sure. This is the ending for Dragon Ball. Oh, the only ending for Dragon Ball, is it? Like, there was only one ending? I'll Give You Romance by Ushio Hashimoto. This was a really great ending for sure. Really only one ending? That's crazy. I thought that this was a pretty long series. And it's not exactly the type of ending I would have expected for Dragon Ball whatsoever. The ending I would have expected would have been a lot more upbeat, positive energy, whereas this is very much, it kind of sounds like, you know, I'm not trying to like downplay it or anything. It sounds like something you would hear in like a romance series like Maison Ikkoku or even Urusei Yatsura, perhaps, whatever. The one ending for all 153 episodes, they adjusted the visuals over time, but not by much. Interesting. So they kind of pulled a, well, they kind of pulled a, that's bullshit. So Hunter x Hunter departure, you can maybe see that they took inspiration from some older series like Dragon Ball that maybe did something similar like that. It was also the same opening for the series that only changed the visuals up for the second half. Really? I mean, it was an iconic as hell opening, so I don't blame them. I could definitely get down with that opening Head Chala for 153 episodes. Absolutely, I think that would be a fun time. This ending though, it definitely, and also the lyrics and everything, and the name of the song as well, I'll Give You Romance, not exactly what I would have expected. Like, I don't know if there's a romance angle or romance kind of focus in Dragon Ball. I imagine with Bulma being the focus of this ending, that she might be the one who is literally trying to give someone romance, or she's waiting for romance or something like that. She's full of love. Maybe she's kind of like a terrible comparison here, but it's the only one I can think of. Maybe she's kind of like an Ira Shiratoshi, I can't even say Shiratori. Oh my god, I can't even pronounce it properly. From Dandadan, where she's got eyes for one person, and you know, she kind of loses her whole personality when that person's around, and you know, maybe that's the whole idea of the romance, and she's waiting for it, and she's giving romance to like one person or something. I was going to use Sanji as an example, but Sanji's got eyes for just about any girl that he sees, so I decided to try and think of someone else, and Ira from Dandadan was the first to come to my mind that kind of fits that trope, I guess, that I'm trying to think of. Could also be how One Piece uses romance, like a romantic sense of adventure. Yeah, no, of course, absolutely, that makes a lot of sense. It might be using the word romance here, but you know, you could kind of like maybe spin it in the sense of like love, and like the love for what they're doing, and the love for the world and everything like that. Like maybe you could flip it in that sense, I guess. It's all about context, I guess, and sadly for me, I don't have context. Dragon Ball, there are like several series that are huge. Like when I say huge, I mean like huge blind spots, in the sense that they are the most like iconic, beloved series within anime, and Dragon Ball right up there, probably at the top. Like there are other series up there, like, you know, Death Note, and a lot of more modern series, and you name series, I probably don't know much about it, unless it's come out in the past 10 plus years or whatever. Actually 15 years, I guess. Jeez, Attack on Titan's getting old. Holy shit. My god, Attack on Titan's coming up to 15 years old. Mind-blowing to me. Holy shit. First season of anime, I mean. But yeah, no, like I have a lot of huge blind spots, and Dragon Ball for me is one that I do want to fix. Pinecino has been recommending for a bit now that I read the manga, and I know that Dragon Ball is one of the most influential and well-known anime series out there, but I think it might be a good idea to read the manga, because when I read these series, you know, I can consume them a lot faster, and I think that it would be nice for me to dive into Toriyama works. I know that, you know, the anime as well also Toriyama, but with his unfortunate passing last year, I think it's something that I would like to do, where I dive into his most well-known series, that being Dragon Ball, of course, and you know, read it for myself. It is something that I'd like to do, and I said that I would do it when I finish reading Claymore. The read of Claymore is not going good, folks. It's not going well. I have not read a chapter of Claymore in like 2 months. Maybe 80 chapters left of Claymore. It's just a very slow read. Claymore finished any day now, yeah. And I did say a long time ago to Pinecino, I think I did anyway, it's in my memory, that I would check out Dragon Ball once I finish Claymore, and yeah, that's just taking a long time. So less than 50 to go. If that's the case, I should really get on that, but I'm starting to fall behind in other stuff. Who knows, any day now, as you said. The color palette in this opening is honestly mind-blowing. Like, look at the way that they've shaded the cliffs in the background here purple. Like, obviously that's not the color of this cliff. Like, we see the natural color probably in the background here, where it's like this orangey kind of Dune-esque look. The purple over on the left here makes her hair pop a lot more. I know that it would pop regardless against like a reddish background, but the fact that her t-shirt also kind of blends into the left side of the screen as well really makes her face and hair pop a lot more, and really gives her this look of importance and this look of individuality, and it makes her stand out a lot. And also, like, there's just something about the way like these big eyes look. I know that a lot of series back in the 80s and even today, characters have these big ass eyes, but there's something about like just the wetness of the eyes and the shine and everything like that in these older series that I just can't get over. Like, there's just something about it that, despite like the limited resources, I guess, that they had back then, you know, like where they literally had to hand draw all of this stuff. And then I don't know how they uploaded it or anything like that. I'm not familiar with the technology. I'm not familiar with how that all works. But someone drew this. And this looks amazing. This, like, I just don't know. Like, the way faces look, the way the eyes look and everything, like, the character designs, obviously, absolutely amazing here. And also, like, don't even get me started once we see, like, look at that. Like, the shadows, the color and everything. It just looks absolutely mind-blowing. Like, it's so good. Like, that whole section right there. And then, of course, we cut straight to little baby Goku with his tail, of course, flying in the background. He just looks like a silly, goofy little guy. And Bulma, who looked very young at the start of this opening, now looks like a... Not that she looks like an adult or anything, but having Goku in the same shot ages her by about 10 years. Because he looks like a literal child, and it makes her look older than that, obviously. So I just think it's really interesting that in a shot like this, she looks like she's maybe like 10, 11, but then we cut to this and she looks like she's like maybe 16 to 20, like in that kind of range, you know. It definitely ages her up. Pretty cool look, you know, like this kind of wasteland look and everything like that. Makes me think of, what was that series called? The wasteland one, that Sandland, obviously. It's kind of remind me of that, you know, with like the dirt bike and the kind of like wastelandy look and everything with the clothing. It's kind of giving me that sense, and obviously it's Toriyama, so I'm sure there's a lot of crossover. Yet again, we see more vehicles and stuff, but this is like a flying vehicle, which yet again surprises me. I did not think there were stuff like this in Dragon Ball. I am learning a lot of stuff every time I see new stuff with Dragon Ball. I thought that this was very much, like I've already said, more primitive based and like not as much technologically advanced, but you know, I think that it's really cool and I absolutely love it. This little guy right here with the bald head looks like he's in trouble. I hope someone can give him a hand. Is that them in the background? Yeah, okay, so there's Goku and his little cloud in the background as well, just flying by the Kame house. Don't know much about this house. I don't know anything about her, but all I know is that Pinecino a while ago built the Kame house in Minecraft. It was good times. I love the geography. I love how fun and vibrant and just full of life the world looks and everything like that. This shot right here, it obviously looks like a kind of family photo, I guess, but I think it's also so cute seeing like little Goku kind of like with the goofy little smile, and there's just something about his pose right here that really makes him look like a child. And I think that that's important because nowadays, like, I think about Goku, you think about Goku, like, I'm sure there's maybe only 1 in 99 people that hear the name Goku and think of child Goku. I'm sure 99% of people think of, you know, big Goku, right? Like, that's the Goku everyone thinks of, Dragon Ball Z Goku, right? So I think that it's just really cool being reminded that he started off as a child when this the series began, you know, Dragon Ball proper, like base Dragon Ball, whatever you want to call it. Daima just happened. That's true. Also, isn't there like a GX or something, or GT or something like that, where he's also like a child or something? The amount of detail put into this, like the shadowing on Bulma's face and everything, and the light, the coloring, the fact that everything here is actually being drawn, detailed. There's just like, there's something so special about 80s series like this, and Dragon Ball obviously had to have been at the forefront of that, considering how popular and relevant it even still is today. I made the joke while I was watching this that it looks like the Dragon Balls are in the Sonic bonus stage. There's 7 balls here present in the shot, and I think there are 7 Dragon Balls, right? What is it? You need like 7 Dragon Balls to make a wish? I wonder if I honestly wonder what the wish is. I wonder like what they actually want out of this. I wonder what the end goal is. Like, what's the purpose? Because this series does look like a series where the characters can attain and can achieve their own goals themselves. Like, they look very strong and powerful, not in the sense of like physical strength and what they can do physically. They look like they're strong characters that there's nothing they can't put their minds to achieve. So it just makes me wonder what is so unattainable that they need the Dragon Balls to make a wish. What is it that is so out of reach that they need this for? I know that obviously, you know, watching the series, the first few episodes, you'd probably get that answer, but yeah, I don't have a damn clue right now what that is anyway. Also, Bulma doesn't look like Bulma here. She looks like, I don't even know, a completely different character. I feel like I might be ready to move on to the next one very soon, but this was an absolutely amazing song. Visually, one of the most vibrant looking 80s endings, you know, I can think that we'd probably see. And yeah, what a great ending to be attached to such an iconic series like Dragon Ball. Like I said, very surprising to me. I would not have thought that this would be the ending for Dragon Ball whatsoever. Absolutely shocked, but I do love it. I think that it's very very well placed here, and I can imagine that when you actually start to watch the series, the ending does maybe make more sense, but also become a lot more endearing. I've used that word endearing a lot, and I guess that's just because like a lot of these have been very endearing to me. But yeah, I think we're ready to move on to the next one, so let's move on and see what we get in ending number 5. Let's go. Let's see what we get in this next one in ending number 5. Here we go. We're in space. Oh shit, reminded me of Saint Seiya. It is Saint Seiya. That's so funny. Oh, I love this a lot. This is so cool. We're going more of a rock direction now. This is so good. Holy shit. Okay, so she's whatever that Greek goddess was. I guess that's what it's showing here. Wow, look at them all in the ruined civilizations in space. Oh, and the helmet coming into view just there. Man, that song right there was badass. I was seeing all the constellations in space and everything, and I was like, wow, this is really Saint Seiya-esque. And immediately, our guy shows up immediately. Is his name Seiya? This is the first ending for Saint Seiya, Blue Forever by Makeup, who also did the opening. Hell yeah. I love that. I don't know if it's very common, but I think it's really cool when the same artist does both opening and ending. And yeah, it's been a long time since we've seen Saint Seiya here. Going all the way back to like one of my very first opening videos, like reaction videos. Obviously in that video as well was Dragon Ball. And yeah, I just think it's so fun that we're going back, you know, City Hunter 2, of course, and replaying the hits. We're getting to be reintroduced to those series that we haven't seen in so long. Funny enough, there was someone, this is me putting someone on blast, by the way, I hope that's not how it sounds, but someone commented on an older video just a day or two ago about Kinnikuman. Someone literally left a Kinnikuman comment just a couple days ago saying, you know, there's a new series out and stuff like that. Like, it wasn't a comment like bad or anything like that. And yeah, it's just like fun now that we're actually going back to Kinnikuman era of anime, right? I'm so excited that we're here. Like, I know we're already 5 deep at this point, but yeah, Saint Seiya, like, what an iconic opening. Of course, you know, like, there were so many people in the comments for that video who were so positive about Saint Seiya, the series, the anime series. I'm just glad that we're able to check out another Saint Seiya anime song right here with the ending, the first ending, of course. Obviously, like, first endings are normally, like, you know, iconic, and this one definitely fits all the bills. It's iconic song wise, it's got an incredible look to it, the visuals as well are very fun. Definitely not as flashy in your face as maybe the Saint Seiya opening was, but that's because, you know, this one does kind of, well, first of all, that's because one, it's an ending, and endings generally don't go as hard as the openings, and two, it is a lot more, I would say, maybe downbeat. Even though, you know, it is very rock driven, and I just love the rock sound that was playing in the background. Like, I don't know if I would say it was kind of like glam rock or something. Like maybe not exactly, but it is kind of like that poppy rock kind of sound. Very fitting for, you know, the kind of shots that we see within this ending, where it's more so showing us, you know, characters as they're just kind of like sitting there and stuff. Like there's nothing crazy going on. Seiya, of course, another series that gets endlessly rebooted. I'm not super familiar with Seiya. I've seen one opening, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Pinecino. I can't remember if there were two Seiya openings in that video, but that's for the most part my entire familiarity with this series, this franchise, I guess you could say, because of all the reboots, and I don't know if there are side stories and stuff now at this point. But it does certainly have a very fun, appealing look. Like, I don't know how they fight or anything, but obviously it does look very action driven. The fact that, you know, they've got their little, you know, suits and everything like that. They have like some staff, some of them, and stuff like that. Or maybe it's just her, I don't know. Our main character right here, he does look like, you know, he's been in a scrap or two anyway, as do the other characters that we see at the beginning and stuff. But, you know, he's got like his little, I don't know if it's horse or unicorn mask helmet here. I think it's interesting that we see this shot right here near the very beginning. Obviously the beginning, it starts with the unicorn, right? Constellation, and then I don't know what this is, but there's another constellation immediately after if someone looks like they're riding on something. Then it's just a mess of constellations, and I'm guessing that all these other constellations are kind of like the team coming together. So I wonder if like showing this, you know, mosh pit of constellations is kind of indicating that the team comes together, the team pulls through together, and they're a team that's not just like one person, even though at the start it literally just shows one person, or one constellation anyway, especially since it's effectively part of what you would call a mid-80s jump big three with Fist of the North Star and Dragon Ball. Hell yeah, it's a pretty big three right there. I think that it's pretty cool that in this shot we see this girl in the background like watching him. I wonder if that's someone that he avoids, or someone he keeps a distance to protect, or someone who adores him, or maybe just a friend, someone looking out for him. Like, there's obviously meaning behind the fact that we see her in the background watching him. It's not like she's exactly out in the open. She might be kind of hiding. You do know that's an early mentor character. Interesting. Okay, so it's someone who was looking out for him then. Okay, that makes sense. I hope nothing tragic happens to them. Maybe, actually, new theory, she was the original, like, Pegasus or whatever. Like, I don't know what it's called, or unicorn helmet user, wearer, whatever it is. And she trained him, and now she's gone, and so it's been passed on to him, and that's why he's looking at it and she's looking at him. It's like kind of telling you a story, I guess. You said in your field message that Sensei is actually a blind spot for you, like Dragon Ball is for me. Really? Well, I won't ask too many questions then, unless Starry here could answer all my questions. I fear they'll fall on deaf ears. I wonder if she's maybe like the previous person who kind of fit into this role that he now fits into. And I guess if she is a mentor in the early stages of Seiya, that's maybe why it shows her at the early stages of this ending right here. And then, of course, we show all the other characters. I think it's so funny that they've got like animals on their masks or helmets and everything like that. Like, I think it's really cool, the look of the armor and the look of the what he's wearing and everything, this guy right here. Unless this is a girl, I don't know. But then he's got a swan on his helmet. So it's kind of like interesting. Like, it goes from like cool as hell to like, oh, a swan, right? Like, I don't know. It just I don't know. Maybe when you're actually watching it, it is actually badass, but like the swan kind of like almost takes away from like the badass look, I guess. But then who gives a shit, right? Who gives a shit what someone's wearing if they've got aura, you know, if they've got the look, if they bring the energy and the vibes that you need to present this badass character. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter what they wear. It's all boys. Gotcha. I feel like I made a comment while we were watching that opening a while ago. Oh, well, this is a girl, right? That I was like, wow, it kind of like looks like Power Rangers or something. I guess that's kind of like being shown by the fact that they all have their own different color here. And, you know, it says here, just like in Greek mythology, and then like a little bit later it shows the girl, if I can find it, this girl right here, surrounded by all these different Greek figures and stuff, goddesses. Yeah, I don't know which Greek goddess this is, but she might be kind of comparable to them or something like that. That's a boy, really? Shit, I'm really bad at that. For me, it was the like, I looked at the eyes, like, forget about the hair and the pink and everything. Like, I wasn't going by pink, I was going by eyes. Like, I looked at the face and I was like, that's probably a girl. I feel like there's every other video I do where I check out openings and stuff, there's at least one. Go all the way back to Steins Gate, you know, with Ruka. Go back to, is Overlord another one that has a character like that? There's of course Ferris and ReZero. There's so many characters that I'm just like really bad at that stuff. Oh, also Gintama, the duck thing or penguin thing, whatever it is. I was calling them like a guy the entire time. You do know it goes hard into the Greek myth aesthetic, as in the purple hair woman, it's literally Athena. And they're all trying to fight Hades at some point. They're all trying to fight Final Fantasy 14 spoiler boss in Shadowbringers. Almost said the name of a character. That would be a really unfortunate way to get spoiled if you're in the middle of playing through Shadowbringers, so I refrained. But yeah, no, that's really cool. Like, who doesn't love a good Greek mythology deep dive? Yeah, this series does look like it goes hard into that. Obviously Athena makes sense, but I wonder to what extent things go with all that stuff. Like, are they kind of just named after different things, or are the mythos and mythology of those characters actually related to the characters that share the same names within this series? Like, to what extent does that comparison go? It is the Greek gods themselves, really. That's pretty cool. I think that would make for a very fun series, you know. I wonder then if they have like different powers and abilities depending on the Greek god or anything like that, or if it's more so name based and then like they kind of just had their own power system. Like I've said, I don't know shit about Saint Seiya. I don't know how the fighting works. I don't know how the action works. I don't know how the power scaling works, or how any of it works. I'm surprised I even remembered as much as I remembered. But yeah, this was an incredible ending here as well. I really loved the rock sound to it, like the guitars and everything coming through, and just the melody that it was bringing forward. It's definitely set apart from the city pop endings that we've checked out so far. This one obviously stands out so far. Visually, it's not my favorite that we checked out today, but in terms of song, it might be my favorite. City Hunter as well, I really did adore, and it's also up there. But yeah, this was just a really badass, kick-ass, fun-ass song. And yeah, I'd love to know just if there's more symbolism that I'm not able to pick out here, because why are they Greek gods and why are they fighting in space with Greek ruins just floating by in the background? Like, what's really happening here? But then of course the mask comes into view here, the helmet comes into view, and yeah, that's how it ends then, with this thing being the most important thing in his life I guess. But also you can draw comparisons to the beginning of the ending, where we saw our main character standing on a little island and the girl mentor character being on what he's on right now, basically watching out at him. So it kind of does make me think that she maybe passed away and passed on this power, this ability, this title to our main character here. I think that might do it for me for Saint Seiya here. I think we're ready now to move on to ending number 6 and see what we get in the next one. So here we go. Let's go. The original video where we had City Hunter, Saint Seiya, and Dragon Ball, that was a Shonen Jump themed video. Whereas now we have like Takahashi in there too, so it's obviously not Shonen Jump. But yeah, I think that it's cool that a lot of these series were all in the one video. So it's really fun to look back on. It's really fun to see just that journey that we've been on and still revisit some of these old friends. But yeah, let's check out ending number 6 and see what we get in this next one. Here we go. Paper. Ranma! Hell yeah! Man, is this Actual paper? Wow. I love this so much, the artistry behind it. It's reminding me of one of the openings for Ranma. Oh shit. Oh look, he's come into view, into color. Wow, this is like artistically incredible. Like, this is so creative. So groovy. And now she's gonna move. Look at them, they are two halves of the same person. It's two halves of one whole. And I pull them apart again. That was so fun. That was so good. Like, I just love the creativity behind this ending right here. It's reminding me of the opening for Ranma, where it's showing like little faces running around and stuff, and characters chasing after other characters and stuff like that. Like, I can't remember which number opening that was for Ranma or anything like that, but this like white wall background and kind of like paper being used once again, it's definitely making me think of that. But I think as well, like, this has made me actually think something I don't think I ever asked while I was watching Ranma. So obviously, girl Ranma, boy Ranma, right? Depending on the color, the heat temperature of water that's thrown on them. Do both Ranmas have their own personalities? Is one completely different from the other? Because if that is the case, that's really interesting. And it makes me then wonder, by the end of the series, what's the outcome here? Does girl Ranma just have to be sacrificed forever because, you know, the curse being that, you know, it's either boy Ranma or girl Ranma, and, you know, started off as a boy? If that is the case, that's really sad, because I'm sure they were their own person. They had their own relationships, they had their own personality, and they were able to form their own bonds with other people. And also, like, another question, if by the end of the series they don't revert that curse and, you know, girl Ranma still exists, do they kind of take it in turns to be like, okay, today I will be boy, tomorrow I will be girl, you know? Like, do they split it up, or is it still just depending on, like, whenever someone throws water on them or something like that? It's the same person with the same memories at all times, just that the constant shifting gender dynamics alters said personality over time. Interesting. Okay. No, that's really good to know, because yeah, I honestly had never even thought about that until this specific shot right here. Yeah, this shot right here, where we see the split down the middle, because boy Ranma looks a lot more, I want to say, snooty. I don't know if that's the right word. It's definitely not, but he looks like he's got a lot more attitude than girl Ranma. Girl Ranma looks like she's you know, smiling, and she's more positive perhaps. And maybe, as Pinecino was saying, that positivity maybe blends in and bleeds into male Ranma, where he becomes a more positive person as the series continues. I guess as well, one of the main differences between boy girl Ranma is that when it's boy Ranma, we saw in openings that there are specific girls who flock to him, who chase after him, who love him, basically cheerleaders for him. Whereas when it's girl Ranma, we see boy characters doing that exact same thing. So I guess that it just switches up who is thirsting for Ranma depending on which version they are. But I do like that it's the same personality, the same person, and the same attitudes, perhaps, depending on if they're boy or girl. Because if it was completely different, then yeah, it would make me really wonder what they would do by the end of the series, reverting the curse or whatever. But since it's the same, then yeah, I don't see it as much as a problem for Ranma at the end of the series to, kind of just revert to being a boy, probably, because that's what Ranma started out as. This shot specifically is a really funny play on the title of the series, like Ranma Half, because it's half Ranma and then half Ranma with a split down the middle. Like, kind of, I think, what this shot specifically is going for. I haven't even read what you said. This is the 8th ending for Ranma Half Positive by Miho Morikawa. That's surprising you went as far as number 8. This was a really, really great one. Very city pop once again, but it has a very, I don't know, like, what you'd call it, like it's got a very funky sound to it as well, with, like, the boom chicka boom. Like, I know that's terrible, but like, if you hear the bass in the background, and then the, like, I don't know what you would call it, like a response, like guitar just like strumming really quick, almost like half notes or something in response to the bass. I'm not a music theorist, so what I'm saying probably makes no sense. I apologize to anyone who might watch this who is cringing right now, that has studied music, that probably thinks I'm speaking gibberish. But like the bong chicka chicka bong kind of sound, where you hear like the bass and then the guitar kind of responding to one another, like a response and a recall kind of like a sound. It definitely gives it a funky feel, and it definitely gives it an energetic, fun feel. Title this Music Theorist Reacts. Could you imagine? Maybe I'll title it Music Theorists Please Don't Watch. That's terrible, but that's what we'll go for. It gives it a funky feel and a funky sound, and that gives it a lot more energy and a lot more of a fun feel than maybe some of the other endings we've checked out today have had. Granted, I have been very positive and I have loved every ending that we have heard, but some of them definitely we're going for a more emotionally kind of almost driven sound. It's fun hearing a switch up now where, Saint Seiya, there was this like rock sound to it, and then this one we get like a funky city pop sound. I do think that, it is a lot of fun hearing the different styles and hearing the different ways that things are switching up within these endings. And like, I know that city pop as a genre, it can sound very samey at times, but that's why I love checking out these endings, because we're seeing there can be different sounds within city pop. There can be different feelings that you experience within city pop and stuff. And yeah, I just think that this song did a great job of kind of telling me this story. And this story being that these characters are a ton of fun. The ending kind of like definitely leads you in a different direction here. Has a fun feel to it. We do see male Ranma looking a lot brattier than female Ranma, and I'm surprised by that. I would have thought like that male Ranma would have been a lot less bratty, I guess. I didn't think that female Ranma was necessarily bratty, but I would have figured that maybe she would have been the one with more of an attitude, because she's sick and tired of these guys chasing after her and stuff. That was my thought process. So it's just surprising to see that within this ending as well, especially, it almost looks like it's female Ranma that has the more positive outlook. She's a gremlin. Really. That's funny. I mean, she would have to have that gremlin side to her, dealing with all the creepy guys in this series. It's Ranma, isn't it, that has that one old guy character that you absolutely despise, Pinecino? I can imagine she'd have to be a gremlin to keep that guy at bay anyway. And like, yeah, the way this starts as well with the paper look, like, this is real paper, right? Like, it looks very real. And the fact that the shadow's completely covering it at the perfect time and everything like that, like, I can only imagine this is real paper and real drawings and everything like that. And that just goes to show the creativity and the artistry and just how great these people are at their craft. And it's definitely one of the most creatively stunning endings I've seen in quite a long time. In fact, one of the prime candidates for this set you cut out because of him. Really, the hatred runs that deep. That's crazy. Maybe it'll show up in the future, who knows. But like, yeah, we see that Ranma is running, almost like he's trying to escape this fate that he's had poise put upon him, where, you know, he's running towards the left of the screen normally, but left of the screen can mean like running towards something. So it's almost like he's running towards something. And then the title of the song being positive, you know, there's a lot of positivity within this song. And it looks like he's trying to escape from this paper prison that he is on. That kind of plays into things a little later on then when we see the apple show up, and the apple is managed to break through. And it makes me wonder now then if the paper we see is actually real paper or if it has been like animated, because this shot right here, I don't know if they actually hand drew onto a wall or something like that. Regardless, it is stunning. It's got a lot of creativity, a lot of beauty. And I think that it's really fun then to see that once he catches this apple, I don't know what this apple represents, but somehow this apple is able to break them out of this paper prison. And we do see that. And right at the end of the ending as well, like the apple is split in half. So I guess the start of the ending, like if we're to take the apple to represent both sides of Ranma, then the whole apple being prior to the curse, you know, this is Ranma as a whole. This is the Ranma. But then, of course, the more it continues, we start to see, well, actually, I don't know, because then she shows up with the whole apple. So it's almost like, you know, I don't know if the two sides of Ranma see themselves as like a whole, but they kind of have to learn to live with the two sides of themselves. And that's kind of why it shows right at the end the split down the apple, like it's almost like learning to live with both sides of yourself or something like that. But yeah, I think that it's really, really just fun. Garden of Eden, perhaps. Oh dear, who ate the apple? Who done it? Who gave themselves this curse? I do think that it's a really fun ending, and I loved it so much. Visually wise, I think it's stunning, beautiful, and I would love to see more in this style of ending, honestly. But I do think that that's all I have to say about this one in particular, and I think we're maybe ready to move on to the next one, which will be ending number 7. So let's see what we get in this next one. Here we go. Oh, a key. Oh, magic. Oh, we got a much different sound this time around. Like very I don't know what I would call this kind of music, like very like Spanish infused or something. Maison Ikkoku is back. The way she's shining in the light and everything, and that's how he sees her, is what I'm gathering here. Did she slap him? Wow, this is completely different from what I would have expected. But this is really, really cool, and I love it. There's a dog! Hell yeah! It's been too long. Oh, what a good boy. Or girl. The dog likes him anyway. That's the hard part. Winning over the dog. Aw, that was really, really nice. I really liked the way that this completely sounded so different from the rest. Like, what's the word? Like there's like a Latin flair to it or something, like this kind of Spanish inspired like music kind of style, like Latin-esque or something like that. Picasso? Where's Picasso? Oh, this is the third ending for Maison Ikkoku Cinema by Picasso. Can't believe Picasso hung up the paintbrush and dabbled in some anime music. That was pretty cinema, I'm not gonna lie. And I guess, yeah, that makes sense then why at the end it shows the film reel, I guess. He's like walking along it. It does burn out right at the end, very film reel-esque. But you know, it does start off very normal. It shows a key and then this drop of water falls on it. It looked like, you know, kind of like a drop of magic or something. So I guess that this key represents the key to someone's heart, and maybe we see that's what is opening up then, where it's like the key is literally opening up a door or something, but not physically. I don't know. Maybe someone cried. Yeah, that's actually very true. That could definitely be the case. That's really sad. I hadn't even thought of that, and yeah, that adds a different feel to this completely. That makes this a lot sadder. I was trying to be hopeful about this, positive, but I guess this is someone opening a window, because we see the cross right there, and I can't imagine we'd see that from opening a door. So I guess this is a window being opened. I guess that this key might represent something more. Like, if this is a Mean Girl's room and key that we're seeing here, maybe the key is something that her late husband had owned. Maybe it's something that reminds her of him. Maybe it's something that they own together, using, like, that they use this key or something like that. Like, there's a lot of possibilities. Sadly, we might not get the answer to as to what this key represents unless we're familiar with the series, or maybe it is literally just a bog standard key and this has no relevance whatsoever. But yeah, the key definitely, regardless, can be used to symbolically represent opening someone up. Not in a creepy way or anything like that, or a surgical way. Getting someone to come out of their shell and getting someone to be themselves. We see the shot right here where it looks very watercolor-esque almost, with the main guy walking down the left side of the screen there, and then we get this close-up of his face, which is absolutely stunning. Like, look at the light colors that were used here. Look at the droplets on his face and hair and everything like that. It does give it a sense that it has been raining and he's out in it. Like, it does certainly look that way from the coloration and the fact that the color is generally being drained or something. But I think that this shot right here is absolutely stunning. Kyoka also runs a boarding house. Could be for the front door. Ah, okay. It certainly could be. It could be the key literally just used to open the whole place. Maybe the key has no importance. And look at him trying to be Ashita Joe over here. I don't remember Joe's surname, so you'll have to forgive me, but look at him trying to emulate that kind of look right here, with the little bag over his shoulder and everything, and looking off to the side, very Yabuki. He's trying to look very mysterious. But then as he looks up, he looks over and looks up, and then we see our main girl, who is very clearly up here because of the fact that she's reaching down. So composition wise, it makes sense that he's looking up at her here because of the angle that he's looking up and then the angle that she's in. And she picks out this really shiny, glittery glass slipper, glass shoe perhaps, while she's wearing this beautiful white dress. Almost looks like a wedding dress, honestly, the way it looks and everything. It's very, very bright and very shiny, and she looks ethereal. She looks very heavenly, the fact that you can barely even see anything but what she's wearing, except her face, of course. And then we get this really close zoom up on her face, and yet again, the eyes are absolutely stunning here. The detail in them, the detail in general with the shadowing and everything. Like, there's two different shadows for her hair, the main one and then the kind of lighter one down here, and it really just adds a lot of depth to this image. Like, this image right here, you can look at it and just see it and move on, but look at the depth that the artist created in this image right here. It is absolutely mind-blowing. The eye, you can see shadows that give the eyeball depth even. Like, it's honestly just incredible just how much detail they packed into single shots like these. And the fact that they were able to animate this, like, it all looks the same as it's moving, is just truly incredible. I just don't understand how, like, people have this much talent, honestly. Like, it blows my mind. She does look very happy, which is surprising, considering what we know has happened in her life. But she does look like a very positive ray of light. And this bouquet of flowers might be from her to this guy. Because we see them right after it shows her, and then we see them in his windowsill right after that. Maybe he thinks about her when he sees them or something. Maybe he bought them for her. Maybe she bought them for him. I don't know. But we see then a bunch of shots of stuff from the anime series itself then. And yeah, we get the beach episode with the other guy. I guess this is tennis guy that we saw in one of the openings. And then, the guy who likes her behind, and the dog, of course. We love the dog. I learned that the dog was blind, I think, while watching the very last opening for Maison Ikkoku, so it took me that long to figure that out. But obviously these two had their problems. I don't know if he's too forward, if she's not ready for anything, any like love, or she's not ready for his advances, and so she slaps him. And then, you know, we do get this shot right after, which kind of tells us a completely different story. So it's like telling us this story of their love that blossoms, and the flowers that we see after it shows her earlier in this could kind of be used to, you know, symbolically tell you that, because it shows her, it shows the flowers, it shows him, and then it starts to show scenes of both of them together. So it's almost like they blossom together, or their love blossoms, whatever they have together blossoms, blooms rather is probably the better word there. I loved it. It was a great ending. The song was so good. I like I said, I love hearing what they can do to switch this up, because otherwise it might have had like a normal city pop sound, but they added like this Latin sound to it, and it really set this one apart, and it really made this one stand out. And I loved it. I loved the visuals. I think that it was great yet again, as always. Me and Girl as adorable as always. Me and Guy here looks to be as longing for her as always. Like, he's pining for her almost. And yeah, he's already done the hard part. He's won over the dog. I don't know if maybe the dog's not hard to win over, but in other relationships, you know, if you don't get on with the dog, it might be kind of like a big task for you, because, you know, you can win over a person with your personality, whereas the dog sometimes is very territorial and protective. And yeah, we see that this dog here has already taken to him, so I think that that's a good sign that he's probably a good person. But yeah, I think I might be ready to move on to the next one. So if we are ready, I think we should maybe just move on to it now. Ending number 8. On to number 8. This one is a little kooky but iconic. Hell yeah, can't wait for it. I'm excited to see what it's gonna be. You say a little kooky but iconic. That Welcome to the NHK ending is the most kooky thing I've seen on the channel yet. That thing is bonkers. Alright, let's see what we get from ending number 8. Let's go. Dragon Ball? We back? Dragon Ball but make it Pikmin? A nut-scented alien? Yo, that's a big-ass dragon in the background. Is that a dragon or a dinosaur? Shower! And it starts to rain. That's so funny. I love the pairing of the visuals of the song. Oh shit, the dragon finally showed some claws. Oh no! You gotta keep up. That's scary. Is that Piccolo? I think that's his name, right? This is so fun. Oh, now he's running ahead with everyone coming behind. Is that Baby Goku and Bigger Goku behind him? ZENKAI power. Are we going to see the dragon's face? There it is. That one was fun. This shot looks so out of place though. It's so funny. This the first setting for Dragon Ball Z come out Incredible ZENKAI Power by MANNA. Really? I guess I wouldn't have guessed this was Dragon Ball Z because we still see Baby Goku. Still looks like Child Goku and everything, but I guess the fact that he's in his orange gi now, and there's no tail anymore. I guess that's the big clue that we're no longer in baby Dragon Ball era. Why is there a dried out Piccolo here? I didn't know there was like a sun-dried Piccolo. We're gonna go back. I'm gonna go through this. This one was a ton of fun. The very beginning, of course, sounded very Pikmin or Animal Crossing-esque with the characters, the way they sound and everything. Like like, what is that? It's a ton of fun. It's really fun. I really did love it. It brought a very fun energy immediately. And this one, I think, did capture what I imagine the fun of this series is very well, where it almost sounds like the ending I would expect to have heard in the first Dragon Ball ending. I would have expected something like this, where it was pure fun and pure energy. But then my perspective of Dragon Ball Z, which again is an absolute outsider perspective, I thought that Dragon Ball ended and then Dragon Ball Z immediately began with an older Goku. But maybe that's not the case. Maybe there's some kind of transition into that period within Dragon Ball Z. Maybe that's not the case at all. And oh wait, maybe that's not Goku at all. Maybe that's I've heard the memes. I've heard that Goku is a terrible father. Maybe this is his son. Maybe this is Goku's son actually, because that's a different hair. That's not his hairstyle. That's not Goku's hair. I think this is his son. I just realized. It took me like 10 minutes, but we got there. Damn. I imagine that's proof enough that I know nothing about this series. So, take that as you will. I have just heard that Goku is a terrible father, but Pinecino has assured me that is not the case. Judging by the last 5 minutes, like 1% of Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. I think that's very fair to say. Is that not Piccolo though? That's Piccolo, right? Like that's one of the few things I know, like some character names. So this is Piccolo. This is Old Man Piccolo. I don't know who this racist guy in the background is, but I don't like it. The dragon flying in the background adds a really nice theme to this, where it's almost telling you that we're back. Right? Like the whole start of Dragon... Well, again, I'm speaking as an outsider. I don't know shit about the series. But Dragon Ball itself is about getting the Dragon Balls. Shocker, right? But what I thought I knew about Dragon Ball Z is that the Dragon Balls kind of don't have as much importance, and it's more about like overcoming maybe insurmountable odds through growing stronger. And from what I thought I knew, I didn't think that Dragon Balls played a part into that. But it's nice to see that the dragon is still there. That's kind of like what the series is named after almost, this big ass dragon. And it's good to know going into this that the fun and some of the similar aspects are still present. It hasn't just done a complete 180. And now that Goku's an adult, it's not like, hey, let's just forget everything and let's just move on to, a more edgier feel. Like, I don't think Dragon Ball Z did that. I don't think it went more in an edgy direction. And this ending right here has kind of helped to alleviate that fear, I guess, for me. You're dying for me to drop Claymore and get into this. It's so funny. Oh no. The Dragon Ball heads are coming for me. I know nothing. What does ZENKAI mean also? Like, is that something related to Dragon Ball, or is that just a word that means something in Japanese? Who the hell is Goku's son's mother? Like, is it Bulma? I wouldn't think so, because Bulma looked like she was like 10 years older than Goku. I think it's really cool though as well, because there's like a couple of shots that look like they would be straight out of the anime, right? This shot right here. This looks like how he maybe looks, this little kid within the anime itself. The shot with Piccolo. This looks like it's straight out of the anime. But then we see shots like these, where this looks like it's kind of a redrawing of a scene with a more, this is going to sound stupid, cartoonish look to it. Like, it sounds stupid because I'm saying it's giving it a more cartoony look when it is a cartoon at the end of the day, but it's giving it a more childish cartoon look, a chibified version of a scene. Yeah, that's a much better way of putting it, of course. So yeah, it's just really surprising to see that it kind of blends several styles. And I guess that answers the question I had earlier, where I was like, why does it show baby Goku and big Goku in the background, and why the hell is Piccolo free falling from the sky right there? What's he doing? He's like, what? I never even caught that while I was watching the opening, but what is bro doing? Like, he just decides to base jump. Like, he's literally dropped out of the battle bus and he's just going to land somewhere. Like, fair play. But then right after that, and we see everyone running, it does start to show, the other characters and stuff. And I think it's very fun seeing everyone together here. This character in the background, I've never seen in my life. This big guy with like the Viking helmet on or whatever. I have seen a lot of Dragon Ball characters through proxy of being online on the internet. And this is my first time seeing this guy. I've never seen him before in my life. Some of these others I don't really recognize either, but he stands out a lot because he's so big. Like, you know, we see him back there and I don't have a clue who that guy is. I wonder if he's even relevant or important beyond a certain point. Maybe he's super important, like for all I know. I don't know. The ending plays on with still the continuation of the fun sound and the fun feel and just pure childlike wonder and joy. I said while I was watching the Dragon Ball openings all the way back that this really does strike me as the perfect childhood Saturday morning cartoon. And yeah, that's continued. This is so fun. And yeah, I just love the way this ends with almost like I don't know if this makes sense, but as someone who reads One Piece, this is reminding me of like a color page that would have been in the magazine Shonen Jump, and it's presenting like another. I wouldn't be surprised is what I'm trying to say if this is replicating a color page for Dragon Ball Z. It's the most Sun Wukong it's ever been. Yeah, wearing the garb and everything. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, no, definitely. I can 100% see that, and that's really fun. Love that the dragon as well looks very cartoonish, and it has like it looks like it has a lot of character. It's almost reminding me of like old school Disney style or something, like the way the dragon looks or something. Like I'm thinking Madame Mim or whatever transforms into like the dinosaur or whatever. I know it's nothing similar whatsoever, but it's just for some reason I'm thinking of that. This was an absolute blast. This was so fun. I'm glad we checked this one out. I know you said that this is a little kooky, but very iconic. I can 100% see that. And yeah, Dragon Ball Z. Maybe one day I'll eventually get into Dragon Ball. I just gotta power through Claymore first. But yeah, we're gonna see what we get in this next one in ending number 9. So let's see what we get. Here we go. Alright, let's see what we get in ending number 9. Let's go. More Maison Ikkoku? Hell yeah. Oh, a big dirty bass. They're two statues. They can't be like they're being controlled. Oh shit, look at this. Wow. This is reminding me a lot of City Hunter openings. Wow. Wow, look at the animation, the fingers there, crazy. Look at them, they're so cute. Oh wait, that's the other guy, is it not? I don't know, actually. Wait, what? I'm so confused. That's not the main girl. Do they not end up together? But their worlds revolve around one another, it would seem. So that just gave me a lot of questions. This was the other guy that she was out at dinner with. This was Tennis Guy, right? I guess he does seem to be a lot classier. This whole setting kind of sets up the idea of class. The way he dressed himself, even playing tennis is, you know, classy, right? Whereas then we see our main guy here, he's here for a fun time opposed to like I don't know, because going out for dinner's nice too. But, you know, he takes this girl out to like a fair and it's a physical like fun time. Like you go there, you see the lights, you see the sights, you have fun together, opposed to, you know, sitting across from each other and conversing. You know, it's two completely different worlds, and I think it does a great job of showing the, I don't know if you would say the how completely different the two guys are from one another, or if you could even say how different he is from the main girl, because they might both live in different worlds in that sense. But she doesn't strike me as the type of character who only goes for classy guys, who only values that kind of stuff. She strikes me as someone who values companionship, values personality and the way someone is more than anything else. And I think she would have had a great time here as well. Like, you could have put her in any position. I think the the point is showing the difference between the two guys. That's what I'm guessing anyway. This is the fourth ending for Maison Ikkoku Fantasy by Picasso. That's crazy. I can't believe he did it again. It really surprised me because I thought that just at a glance, the shot of here, I was like, oh, that's them out to dinner. That's nice that by this point they maybe start to become romantically interested in one another. That is not the case whatsoever. I guess there has to, this is a romance series. There's got to be secondary romance options, and in a lot of romance series, they explore the idea of being with other romantic partners before finally coming together to be with one another by the end of the series. I'm saying this is someone who knows nothing about romance series. If you ask me what my favorite romance series is, you're not going to like you're not going to like the answer I give you, because I know nothing about romance. I know I say this a lot when I check out romance related stuff, but my wife reads romance manga. She hasn't read any in quite a while, but she has, kind of told me the ins and outs of some of the series she's read, where there's the main love interest and then there's the side love interest. And in a lot of the series that she's read, they kind of end up with the side romantic partner for a period of time before ending up with the main romantic partner. So I wonder if this kind of employs that same ideal, not ideal, but that same kind of idea. Maybe, as we see from the beginning and the ending of this ending, they literally revolve around each other. Their whole worlds, their whole lives, their whole personalities revolve around one another. They can't go anywhere without the other being affected, I guess. It's like they're orbiting one another. That's just how important they are to one another. And yeah, it's only a matter of time before they end up together. There's 96 episodes. There's a fair few twists and turns along the way. Yeah, it makes plenty of sense. I thought with this being the fourth ending, we maybe would have seen them kind of start to warm up to one another, start to actually be seen out together and stuff. But I guess, yeah, you could say that actually no, this is the other guy too. But the way this looks incredible. Lighting and everything, the city lights really gives this a really unique look and makes this stand out against the other endings that we've seen for this series so far. It's definitely taking a much more hands-on approach, I feel like, in showing characters in scenarios and situations that you maybe would see in the anime itself. It's definitely giving us more of a hands-on look at that. And then we see, is this our main guy reaching out for, I can't tell what he's reaching out for, but I can only imagine it's reaching out for a future where they're together, because it looked like he was reaching out to the moon, reaching out to an airplane or whatever, which might symbolize wanting to escape, might symbolize, freedom and longing for it, and being able to go do whatever you want. And maybe he's being held back or whatever, he's tethered down or something. But then as he's reaching out, the pieces of him and her start to fall, and he's still reaching out for it. So it's almost like he's reaching for that. I don't really have the answers, but that's my thought. That's my theory anyway. It's interesting that though it only shows 1, 2, 3, instead of also showing this girl. That's disrespectful to her. I'm sure she's a great character in her own right. I'm sure she deserves a place in that little quick montage. But it almost seems like they're already discounting her as a relevant character or whatever. Or maybe she's not even a love interest at all. Who knows? Maybe he's taking her out. But the lyrics right here, there's overflowing pain, even a hug can't impede. And that's being sung as he gets a hug from someone. So it's almost like a sense of trying to find something that you want or that you need from someone else in someone else entirely. So it's almost like, I'm kind of just using you in a sense because I think this is what I need, but then realizing that it's not what you need. So I don't know if I'd really call it using, but almost like rebound-esque or something. I'm not sure. For all I know, this could be a sister or a mother, I really don't know. But yeah, I think it's very interesting that this whole ending focuses on showing characters not with the people you would expect to see them with. As someone who just watches openings and endings, watching the series, I'm sure this ending makes perfect sense for where it is placed. But yeah, this was very surprising to me. But right after it shows him with the other girl, it starts to show the two of them in their own separate spotlights here, walking along, and eventually they do become the little statues again, and they start to revolve around one another. So it's kind of giving me this idea that despite the twists and turns, as Pinecino has alluded to across the 96 episodes, despite all of that, it doesn't matter, because what we see here is what we're going to get by the end of the series. It's actually pretty funny, the frame I paused it on, because it does look like he's behind her, kind of just holding her, and that was not my intention. But yeah, it is a nice little frame here, actually, just to end this on. Might I just say as well, that was a really nice song as well. It was very emotionally charged, I would say. Like, it definitely sounded like one that takes you on this really slow journey, and yeah, it was just really nice ending, I guess I would say. But yeah, let's move on to the next one, which Pinecino was saying is the final ending today. I thought that there would be more for sure, but yeah, we're going to check out what we get in this final ending. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you have not done so already. Comment down below letting me know which of these has been your favorite today. And yeah, I hope that you guys like Maison Ikkoku as much as I do love checking out these endings. Of all the romance series that I have seen, openings for, endings for, anything like that, Maison Ikkoku looks like the one I think I would enjoy the most. And I don't know if that's because it looks like it tells a more adult story or something like that, but I guess that's all I can kind of pin it down to. Whereas a lot of these other series, you know, they're in school. I can get behind like a good romance and stuff like that as well, but I just love the adult aspect of Maison Ikkoku. I hope this isn't the last we see of Maison Ikkoku on this channel. So yeah, let's check out the final ending and see what we get. Let's go. Wonder what the last song is. It's gotta be Maison Ikkoku ending 6, right? I don't actually have a clue. The only other thing I can think of that was in that playlist, the 80s one that we have not checked out today, was Fist of the North Star. Let's see what we get here. Whew, very excited. Let's see what it is. Ending number 10. Oh. Okay. I love this. This already sounds so good. Oh shit, okay. Is this City Hunter again? Because it started similarly? Oh shit, okay. Droplets, it is City Hunter. Hell yeah. Begins and starts the same way. Ah, look at this, it looks so good. Holy shit, the visuals. This is Beyond the Time artist, right? This looks so good. I love the visual look, and this song is incredible. Get chance and luck. It makes no sense, but I love it. Hell yeah. Oh, I need more. I don't want it to end. I hate when the songs fade out like that. I've only heard it like 2 times now. Man, that was so good. This is the ending for City Hunter Get Wild by TM Network, who did Beyond the Time. Hell yeah, I knew it. Oh, that's so good. This is effectively the City Hunter song. When the series gets any revival whatsoever, they always wheel out Get Wild. Yeah, no, that was incredible. This is my favorite today, easily. Like, we had some great endings in here today, some incredible visual looks and everything like that, but man, that was special. That was something else. I recognized that voice so quickly. I was like, this is Beyond the Time. I couldn't remember the name of the artist. All I remembered was TM, and I couldn't remember the rest. Holy shit, that was absolutely phenomenal. I'm so glad we checked this one out. Yeah, I can see why this is the unofficial theme song for City Hunter as a whole, because this was absolutely 20 out of 10. Where do I even start with this? Like, the beginning of the ending here, we didn't see visuals. I'm sure that that's probably once again because the episode leads into the ending. Just like we saw with the first ending within this video, we saw the exact same thing, like 30-ish seconds of just black screen with this killer song playing in the background. Pinecino, is this the first ending? Because the previous one you said was the second ending, so I'm wondering if it's the first. I think the second season of City Hunter was called City Hunter 2. I hate what I'm about to say, but like, this shot right here, it's just reminding me of that SpongeBob meme. This is the ending for the first season. Yeah, gotcha, perfect. The song, let me just go back. Like, there's something about that part right there that almost makes me think of, like, I don't know if this makes sense, but like a Euro dance track or something, like a very European like dance track, like a around the world type song, synth plinky sound, while there's like this swirling, you know, noise in the background or something. Then we hear things really kick off and it starts to sound a lot more, I don't know, like there's a certain genre that part is reminding me of, but I'm not able to quite pinpoint it. It does sound very 80s. It's not so much city pop that it's reminding me of, which I think is interesting. It sounds more like a Western 80s song, like sound or something like that. Also, real quick, is this was this before Char's counterattack? So like, I don't know if TM Network has done other anime music. I know that they came back to do a track for a movie. Jeez, I'm flopping, but I know that they came back. This was a year prior. Okay, that's cool. So if this is how they hit the anime scene, that's incredible. This is a great way to do it, and then to come back with Beyond the Time right after. Pinecino has said here that this is effectively seen as like the unofficial theme song for City Hunter, and of course, you know, Beyond the Time is effectively, I think you said, seen as the unofficial theme for Gundam in general. I think that that's absolutely insane that one group was able to, you know, produce such high quality tracks for two different series like that are so beloved and well loved and well known. They actually did one for a Vampire Hunter D movie. It's one of the most iconic for Gundam. Okay, so we hear the song and it kicks off and things start to sound a lot more intense and a lot more energetic. But then we do fall into an almost city pop sound. So it's like completely different genres at the beginning that then eventually blend into like this city pop sound. And I think that like this city pop sound to me is most fitting in this series, City Hunter. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like the aesthetic, the look, the colors, everything about City Hunter just screams city pop to me. I do think that this is very much fitting for this. Beyond the Time cars before anime Chennai. Absolutely it does. I'm glad that the sound kind of eventually did transition into city pop. But then we get to see frames like this, and this would almost strike me as how this maybe looks in the manga, if that makes sense. Like, this is very manga coded. Funny enough, City Hunter is sunrise as well. Really? Hell yeah. TM Network keeps it in the network. Maybe it was a 2-song deal. That would make sense, and that's so cool if that is the case. If this is how it looks in the manga, that's so cool for one. But also it's reminding me of, I don't know if this will make sense, the very first Lupin the Third opening. I feel like there was also this real scratchiness, or almost any 70s anime opening that we checked out. Like, you could do Ashita no Joe as well, where it has this kind of like real scratchy line work look to it. Like, the shading is kind of scratchy too, and it just has a less polished look. But I think that makes this really appealing, because everything we have seen from City Hunter so far up until this point has been very stylish, very full of aesthetic, and very well polished. So I think that this really stands out against everything else because it's got a completely different look to it. The manga is one of those series where it's kind of absurd that it was a weekly series for so long in terms of drawing quality. Holy shit. I can't imagine, because the openings themselves, the endings as well also, but like the openings in particular, if they're anything to go by, yeah, the look of City Hunter is beyond comparing. Same could be said for Fist of the North Star. Shit, they were just on crack back then. Like, look at Go Nagai and forgetting his name, Astro Boy. They were doing this shit weekly too. So it's just absolutely mind-blowing. Well, it was the 80s, so it might have been actual crack, you're right. Tezuka, yeah, okay, I don't know, just back in the day they were just pumping out series after series after series, week after week after week, and I have no idea how they did it, because it's really mind-blowing to me. Someone who struggles to edit a video and get it out, I could not imagine producing a whole chapter of a manga every single week. It's insane. But yeah, I love the look of this. It's beautiful. The way that this is composed, the way that everything looks in this, kind of running towards, yet again he's running towards her here, whereas in the second ending it was almost like it was the complete opposite way around. Driving in the rain, I don't know, just look at the aesthetic. It's so good here. He drops a butterfly, don't know what that represents, but the butterfly is able to fly away. It's freedom, and anytime he reaches for it, it isn't there. So I wonder if this butterfly represents this girl that he's longing for, or that he has this relationship with, that is maybe on off or something like that. It just kind of also, like, a lot of the visuals in this ending have a lot of sadness to them, where there's a lot of solitary, a lot of solitude, and just characters being by themselves, blending into their backgrounds, blending into their environments and everything like that, not exactly standing out. So it does have certain sadness, this ending, but at the same time, the song just has so much badass energy and fun to it that I can't exactly get those feelings of sadness necessarily while watching this with the song attached. Maybe it's not necessarily the best combination of song plus visuals to tell a story, but both song and visuals are incredible, and definitely maybe my favorites that we've seen today. So I think that it's a great way to end this. Maybe not my favorite visuals I've seen today, but definitely my favorite song. I don't really know if I have much more to say about this one, but City Hunter is amazing. It is such a fun looking series. Yeah, I'm here to plug City Hunter. I'm here to plug Maison Ikkoku to you all, so you should go watch those all. And yeah, I think that I might be wrapping this one up right now. This was such a fun list that we were able to check out. Always a pleasure to check out these endings and everything. Who would have thought that we'd be hearing TM Network back again? Who would have thought that we'd be seeing Takahashi right back again alongside others like the Shonen Jump series that we checked out a while ago? It just pure fun all around. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe if you've not done so already, and comment down below letting me know your favorite that we saw here today. Just to give you a little insight, the next video, stream, whatever that I will hopefully be doing will be the summer 2025 playlist. Finally, I will be checking that out, I hope soon, and that will be the next video with a playlist like this one on the channel. So yeah, I hope that you guys are having a great day today and that you're able to take it easy. I will see you in the next one. Take care.